cell phones and remove all masks. Please stand and have a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Okay, before we get into approval of the minutes and everything, I'd like to introduce our new bookkeeper, Lynn Price. Would you all please give her a welcome applause? Thank you for coming down, Lynn. You may have noticed that Miss Margie Ellison is not present. She gave her verbal resignation via voicemail on Tuesday, September 8, 2020. The board of the directors accepted this resignation on Friday, September 25th, 2020. The board thanks her for her services and wishes her well in her future endeavors. Okay, we all got a copy of our minutes. Does anybody see any changes that need to be made in this minute? Then I would make a motion that the minutes be accepted by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Oh, and I do have a proof of quorum here today. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Ann now.
Good morning, everyone. I have a few correspondence this morning. The first one is directed to Mark and the board from, please excuse me, Bob Chowowski.
No, it was this one here. It's the first one.
Excuse me.
You're out of order.
And
My apologies.
Bob Chakowski,
I'll try to remember.
Polish name.
Okay. To the President, Mark Keller, and our board of directors. It is easy to complain and criticize our board, but let us think about all they have been through in the last 6 months. COVID-19, unfinished and mismanaged projects along with staffing issues. They didn't complain, they didn't step up to the, they stepped up to the plate and kept us all safe during the pandemic. They have put in long hours at the administration office helping out where needed to keep our development running and got the floor project finally done properly. Their 6 months in term have been tougher than our previous boards have ever had. We need to be thankful to our board members and show them the respect and support they have earned. They have shown us transparency. Our questions, when asked, finally get addressed. Our president goes out and speaks with the residents when they have concerns. We have never seen this in the past. Our community is finally starting to recover from issues thrust upon us by previous boards. This board has shown us that the residents come first as it should be. Respectfully submitted by Stephen and Mary Astori. Okay, this is from Mr. Chakowski. Attached is an RX form for my primary doctor requiring 8 hours of sleep every day. I am not able to get 8 hours due to the loud exhaust of the purple motorcycle that continues to drive up and down our house 8 to 10 times a day on Country Club Drive and Starcross. We have continued to observe several near misses of the biker exceeding the speed limit outside the home and other cars and pedestrians. Please use my RX form to further our complaint against the biker and have him removed from Brookridge. He is a danger to the community and disrupting the peace. And there's a copy of his,
It's a copy of his RX.
yeah. And the last one would be from Donate LaRoche. To whom it may concern. Recently, I required as to the rules of an umbrella clothesline. I was told that the rule is that it is acceptable to have such a clothesline and it must be in the back of the house. I asked if it would be possible to have one of the corner behind the patio and side of the house because it was less visible, and the answer was no. I put up the umbrella clothesline in back of the house and it is visible by my immediate neighbors on both sides, Brookridge Boulevard and the traffic on the boulevard. If the clothesline was put up as I suggested, the only visible site of the clothesline would be my immediate neighbor and if someone was looking at our house coming down Midmore Boulevard. I believe this rule was written for aesthetic reasons and may be revised to provide a case-by-case installation. It has some consideration. If this has some consideration, I would be all right to move the clothesline. Thank you for your consideration, any consideration.
President,
Yes,
can
sir.
I speak to Mr. Chakowski real quick?
Sure.
Mr. Chakowski's problem with this is his second heart valve. Not number one, this is number two. I don't know if he's gonna be around, if he doesn't get what he needs as far as our community here. He came down here to live and rent here for now, see how things would be. I don't want him to see number three. Now, I ask you people, in his condition, what would you do? His doctor says he needs this here. And what I'm saying is, this is one of us. He lives in here. And if you ask me about HIPAA, he's one of the men that put HIPAA together in the United States of America. So I'd like to know what you would do. I may call on you for your answer. This is out of the ordinary. This is a man here that may not be here anymore due to whatever. I don't want to see number three heart valve go in. That's wrong.
Okay, could I ask Captain Schubert to speak on that for a few minutes, please, about Mr. Chakowski?
Unfortunately, I cannot, because any potential violation against any resident, any property owner, any visitor that is a guest of a property owner is confidential. So for me to sit here and talk about violations or potential violations, I can't do it.
All right, thank you. Another correspondence we got that I'm going to read is an estimate from Wilson Technology Group. And this is something I would like for you to comment on, Captain Schubert.
Sure.
This is something that I think will quash a rumor about me, that I was going to fire the captain of security and replace everybody in the guard shack. Now that was a true rumor. And what it is we're replacing things in the guard shack. And Captain Schubert, would you please explain to the people why that we have to get this done? This is our first quote, and we're getting 2 more quotes.
Okay, the technology that's out at the guardhouse is 10, 11, 12 years old. The camera system, the DVR that is attached to the cameras out there is kaput, no good anymore. The wiring and the cameras that are out there have been replaced 4 or 5 different times because They are not the proper cameras out there. They are the bottom end cameras. They're not designed for the use that is done out there. The entire system needs to be redone. My hope is that we can bring that entire system into the 21st century. Those HD cameras are used not only by myself, but for Hernando County Sheriff's Office. They have a direct access to get to recover the video footage and audio footage of everything that happens out at the guardhouse. The cameras need to be good enough that they work both daytime and nighttime, and be able to have a picture that will be able to be used in a court of law. You just can't have a fuzzy nighttime camera because somebody came in at 11:30 at night. You can't tell who it is. It could be anybody. You need to be able to have the picture of the license plate, the picture of the car, the picture of the driver and the occupants to be used in a court of law to prosecute cases if need be. So I'm not asking to use this quote, but I'm asking to get 3 quotes and give consideration to actually getting a HD camera system in the guardhouse that is of some quality and of this proper technology.
Okay, thank you very much, Captain Schubert. All righty, yes, you can comment, Ann.
I'd like to comment and request a little change in this. I read this pretty thoroughly about these cameras and the DVR and where their placements would be. I would request or like to have a change that we have a camera in the back of the admin building as well. And also, it says that the cameras and equipment will have a backup. I would like to see us have some PM, some preventive maintenance to run that once a month and make sure that those batteries are working. I would like to see the equipment that we purchase from now on is maintained. Thank you.
Now, isn't this also connected to our main server in our office?
Yes, it is. Ms. Noda, the camera that you refer to would have to be, that can't be on the system for the guardhouse. That would need to be added to the video system that is already in the administration building. There is a separate DVR, or there was a separate camera system and DVR for the cameras that are on and in the administration building. One of the cameras at the guardhouse is pointed to the administration parking lot, but there is a separate and distinct camera system in the administration building. So we can do something, a camera in the back, if that's what you would like. We could add that to that system.
We cannot add it to this.
There's no way to wire it.
They have wireless cameras.
Well, we could, but my thought is that we would keep the systems for the administration building and the system, because there's a camera system here at the clubhouse, there's a camera system at the RV compound, there's a camera system at the guardhouse, there's a camera system at the administration building. They're all 4 separate camera systems. My thought would be that any cameras in that area would be under one system. It would still be recorded, we'd still be able to go back and review all tapes and stuff, but it would just be wired to a separate system.
I don't understand why we can't have the back of that building looked at from the code enforcement building.
We can. Sure, it would just, but what I'm saying is we wouldn't put that, there's a separate camera system. And
That's a separate, can the code enforcement building, can they see that camera?
Sure, we see the clubhouse cameras, we see the RV compound cameras, absolutely.
They see the back of the admin building.
Not right now, but they can.
Okay.
But what I'm
Well,
saying
while
is,
we're doing this work, I think we ought to start doing things correctly.
that's exactly my point, absolutely.
Okay, Arlene, make a note about that so we can get Wilson Technology to add that camera into our system in the admin office, please. Thank you. Okay, does any other board member have a comment on that? Okay. All right, I'm gonna go read my presidential report. I just can't understand the lies and rumors about my board and myself. I honestly wish Nextdoor would shut down and stop. I feel the administrator should give it a rest. Because from what I've been told, the person does not know the truth from the fact and fiction. There has been some vicious attacks on myself and the board. What a shame. And if this workshop, if it cannot be held with decorum and positive issues and addresses, according to our attorneys, when I mean our attorneys, the members' attorneys, the board will have the authority to cancel all future workshop meetings. Any issues that you feel need to be addressed will still go through proper channels according to rules, regulations, and bylaws. And I and the board will not tolerate to be yelled at and hostility. We are only volunteers. If you want to be a productive member of this community, please do not do it through proper channels. Also, I have to bring to everyone's attention that the dumpster outside is for construction use only. As you drove in here, you've probably seen it piled up with plastic bags, mattresses, tables, and everything else. Now instead of having to take it to the dump that takes construction waste, we will have to take it to another dump that takes public waste and will cost us more money because it not only has mattresses in it, it has refrigerator items in it, food items in it, and other items. Our contractors now have no place to put demolition waste in. We will have to get another dumpster in here because we're going to be replacing ceiling tiles. We have how many jugs of stuff we have to get rid of, Benny?
25 to 30.
25 to 35 gallon jugs from the guys that use this floor. They had no place to put it because residents were coming down here and loading that dumpster up with their junk. So I'm asking you all, please, not to do that anymore, because it's going to cost us more money to take this to a different dump. So now we'll go to the treasurer's report.
Mr. President, can I speak on it real quick?
Sure.
I don't really want to say anything, but where are the men who are working today going to put their contract garbage? You want to comment on me? We have things in there, and I feel that it's wrong. It's so wrong that the people put their names on the boxes and put the boxes in there. Code enforcement did me a great favor. He called up the people, and they took their stuff out of the dumpster. Took it out. It shouldn't be in there. Asked the question, who had said that? Well, I was told by a neighbor we can do that. So my point is the construction guys are not done. Where are they going to put the construction garbage at? I think we'll leave it in the clubhouse for right now until another dumpster comes. It costs us more money. So if you see anybody, don't get me wrong, it's wrong. I seen them go by my house with the stuff in the back of their Ford pickup truck. Excuse me. And they went right over here. We had them stop. Security came out and wrote them up. So I rest my case.
Yes. Go ahead, Nellie.
On the note for the dumpster that's out there, is there any way that you can have some kind of security camera facing that dumpster? Because it's not only gonna be this time that they're doing repairs here, this is gonna continue on whether these contractors are here or not. Fortunately, we're able to get some information on boxes that were put in there, but that's not the case all the time. And especially at night, anybody can come through here and put their household garbage because they don't want to pay Republic either. So
Correct.
my question is there a way that some kind of a camera facing that container can be installed?
Yes, it can. What we can do, I've talked to Vince about this. We have both our cameras, and this was an issue a long time ago before we got on board. We had this issue a long time ago about speeders running these stop signs out there. So we are going to take one of the cameras from the stop sign and point it toward the dumpster so we can catch these people putting stuff in there that they shouldn't be putting in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Millie. Okay. Mr. Stratton, when you're ready, you can do your treasurer's report, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pull your mask down there, Richard.
I got it.
Okay.
Treasury report for August. And I'm just gonna give an example here. The bookkeeper we have right now, she's doing the best she possibly can. And there's information at this time that she don't have in the computers that are proper because we do have a problem with the equipment up there, so bear with me. Operating account balances, $396,283.77. I jumped down to 4,000. Access income cash basis report number 30, 127,838.07 year to date, 894, 641.49. Other income, $8,813.99. Year to date, 135,701.23. Total is 136,652.06. Operating expenses, administration for the month, 14,976.70. Year to date, 189,968.22. Budget is $419,000. Year to date, 45%. Facilities, 15,886.15. Year to date, 133,802.66. Budget, $283,000, 47% used. Public Works, 17,252.38. Year to date, 117,877.29. Budget, 241,500, 49% year to date. Code enforcement, 25,292.46. Year to date, 175,854.20. Budget, 342,000, course cents, 51% used already year to date. Total expenses for the month, $73,407.69. Year to date, $617,502.37. Budget, $1,285,500, 48%. Reserve account total interest was $220. Year to date, we got $65,4137. Balance right now, $1,769,646.72. All the way down to the bottom, year to date, $147,723.55. Jumping down to the bottom, with social clubs, bank accounts, $32,067.15. Capital City checking, $26,763.81. And the bottom line year to date, $21,815.90. Bear with me that I have 23 days doing this job. So just bear with me on this here. I'm getting everything down pretty good. There's so many numbers and figures, it blows my mind, but I'm handling it. So maybe by the end of the month, I'll know everything possible to know about this place. I'm finding more information out every day, but thank you very much. Mr. President, you're on.
Okay, Ann?
I would like to mention to the residents, if you heard Treasurer Stratton speak, when he said the percents, we are in the 10th month of this year, and a lot of our expenses are in the 40%. That we are trying to keep these expenditures down, and I hope that all the residents here are aware how crucial this budget is and how hard that the budget committee worked. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you, Ann. Okay, unfinished business. Rich, you're back up, buddy. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Unfinished business. Well, the floors are in, as you see. Vince is still working on the wainscoting, the bottom moldings, all the rooms. The electric company, Kennedy, is working today, putting in new feed lines for 2 new air conditioners. Now, I think we explained to you why we put the air conditioners in. The one in room C was leaking on the floor, therefore creating a problem. Now, we handled that. The air conditioner now is outside, and the one used to be in the search room is now outside. Nothing of an air conditioner gets contained in this building. They're all outside where it should be. This way, there's no problem leaking, no problem anything happens with it. It will be outside. Also here right now is Kennedy Electric, and they're running the new power lines to from the fuse boxes to the units. Not saying right or wrong, I want to make sure we have adequate wiring to handle the load. The air conditioner outside by the search room, that's taken care of, that's warranted in our payment of the air conditioning system through BESCO. And the one for the C room outside, we picked up a 10-year on parts and labor. The social dance and men's club paid for that. So we'll be covered here without any money out of your pocket for if something breaks down. I wish I could do it to everything here. We can't do that. There isn't enough money from the club to be put forth to do that, but everything's on schedule. Kennedy is here today. We hope to have the one air conditioner running. I don't know how fast they work, but when they're done, Vince will get a hold of BESCO, come out, turn them on, and go for broke. That's where we stand right now. We're doing the best we can with the COVID-19. Their help and everything else all factors into this. So right now we're looking pretty good. And the floor right now, as you see the floor, I've had comments. I mean, it looks great.
Vince, could you turn the lights off so that people can see the sparkles on the floor, please?
There's a flake in there, and there's a 1%. You're gonna see it real quick here. Don't you know what that is?
You know, when the lights are turned off and that ball's on, the lights are hitting it and everything, that you just wouldn't believe the way this floor looks. Go ahead, Vince.
I was gonna demonstrate that after the meeting was adjourned. I was gonna turn all the lights off in the entire building and turn our stage lights on, and that way you guys can stand back and look and see how it actually looks.
Okay, that'd be great.
Would that be better?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or would you rather?
They may leave. They may go home.
They might go home. They might get tired of Rich.
Whoa, nice. All I see is the light.
That's because you see the little sparkles on the floor and everything, but we'll do it again, at the end of the meeting and so forth, or I don't know if Vince can turn the light, yeah.
Come on. It's John Travolta.
John Travolta, you wish.
Thanks, Vince.
Thank you, Vince. We'll do it again at the end of the day. And another thing we had that kept us from getting the clubhouse open sooner than what we and the board anticipated is we had trouble getting our electrical permit. And Rich and I worked very hard, got a hold of a county commissioner by the name of Wayne Dukes. We went to him, we explained our case to him, and he got us our permit. He called me one Friday and says, Mark, I got good news for you. I got you your permit. You want to speak any more on that, Rich?
Yes, the problem was with the permit, I called them every day and I got a song and dance. Well, I got Mr. Dukes involved. I met Mr. Dukes at one of the big VFW meetings, talked to him and his wife. We talked business. And we found out with his people calling over there and looking at the permit, they couldn't read it. They could not read the permit that was submitted by the company. Once that was looked at, we had it within 48 hours. So my point is, everything has to be legible. And it was not, they couldn't read it, but with the help of the president, Mrs. Dukes, with Mr. Dukes, we got it done. So they're out working on it right now. Thank you.
So that was one of our holdups on getting everything ready for you folks. And I thank Vince so much for getting this area ready and the chairs cleaned off so you all could be inside. Thank you, Vince, very much. Okay, since we have no more unfinished business, let's go to new business. Okay. The topic is placement of listed items on annual meeting agenda. Various items of concern to residents should be discussed at the annual meeting where there is a larger portion of the membership in attendance. Place the list of items on the agenda for the annual meeting agenda. We, the board, have decided that we need to discuss these items and we are going to table it to the next meeting. But I'm going to go ahead and read these items because we haven't had a chance to sit down and read these because some of them have been addressed and some haven't. Okay. Okay, is the membership interested in the board of directors? 1, limiting flags, including political, to only those that are cited in Florida Statute 720. Changing the documents to allow for a fall garage sale at homes as well as clubhouse. Eliminating or changing the sign holders in the median on Brookridge Central. 4, utilizing a golf cart for code enforcement instead of one of the vehicles. 5, purchasing land next to the RV park, which Rosemary is working on. 6, updating the website and possibly including access to our UBL account. Change documents to require membership approval for material allocations or additions to common area over $2,000. Installing a safety railing by pavement from horseshoes to pavilion. 9, hiring a security outfit that could provide more than code enforcement. 10, term limits for directors unless there are insufficient applications or a candidate receives a 2/3 supermajority of total voting interest. 11, establish rules for candidates that run for office, complete their terms, or be restricted in subsequent runs for office again. I am willing to guide this discussion on the topics even though most of these ideas are from other members, and while they are several today in October, by March we might already address some of these topics. Some will provoke a hearty discussions and others will simply be a member vote. Sincerely, John Stratton. So I'm going to table this until a later board meeting so the board and I can sit down and talk about these things. Next, Rich. Yes. Yes, well, yes. Okay, come on up, Val.
Val Stratton, Unit 3. Per the instructions, if somebody wanted an item placed on the member meeting agenda, they had to have it in by October 5th. That is what that letter is. I want my letter to be on the agenda for the March annual meeting. That's what that request is. You don't have to solve all those issues. Like I said in the letter, they might have already been solved by then. But, the deadline was October 5th, so that's why that was submitted on time to be included on the agenda for the annual member meeting.
How do you feel about that, Rosemary? Do you want to go ahead and accept it? I mean, how's my board feel on this?
At this time, I think that the board should look at these first, and then what I'd like to see is maybe for our member participation, is maybe send out before March, send out a consensus form to the members and ask them what their priorities are. Because this is a long list.
Yes, it is.
We would have voter fatigue, people reading this, they might not read all of them because they get tired of it. But I think the idea is we need to kind of put the most important things up first. So if we had a consensus of the membership, we could send out a mailing, say, with the list, and they could say yes, no, and then pick those items that the membership wants to discuss, then we can go forward.
Any other comments from the board? Do you feel the same?
I agree.
I agree with Rosemary. That was very good. Thank you.
Hold on 1 minute, Gail.
Mr. President?
Yes, Millie?
Yes, as far as, items that can be put on the agenda, this is a community where the residents, this is their forum, and they should be allowed to put, whether it's ridiculous or not, their concerns on living here in this community, and also what they may seem to feel that the board and the community can do a little bit better in some aspects to make sure that this community stays the way it is or improves in certain ways. I've lived here different times in the last 20 years, and of course seen changes. We all see changes. Sometimes the changes are good, and sometimes some of the requests really don't make sense. But bottom line is you need to listen to the people and the residents and the taxpayers who live here, whether their requests are, off the wall or not. Give our residents a chance to speak their minds, get whatever's on their chest off, and let them know that this board is here, which it has been, to listen to their concerns. We're all taxpayers, we all pay our dues every month, and everybody has the right to speak their voice. That's what I have to say.
Well, okay, Gail? Glad to see you back in town.
Okay, as I peruse the list, Gail Metcalf, Unit 6. Sorry, people, it's been a month.
See how much you can forget in a month?
I know, it's too bad people didn't forget about me. I'm still in the news. Oh, just as an aside, Gail Metcalf is not selling her house. I don't know where that came from. But I was, I was still on vacation. I got a call and they said, Gail, your house is up for sale. And I said, well, that's news to me. Anyway, I just need to get that out because a lot of people have asked. As far as the list goes, I believe that the board should look at a couple of those because I believe that there would have to be bylaw changes. And bylaw changes have to be a vote on the ballot itself.
Yes, ma'am.
So you want to make sure that those are not just brought up at the meeting. There are some that need to go out to a vote for the change in the bylaws.
Yes, you're absolutely
So I
correct.
just wanted to make sure of that.
That's why I tabled this to a different time, because there's some things here that we have talked about, the board has talked about,
Uh-huh.
and, it's just like purchasing land to the next to the RV park. Well, Rosemary and I have been on that thing, what now, for 2 months. We finally found out who owns it now, so we're gonna go to that person. And we're gonna talk to them. It's the water utilities company now owns it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, and I had talked with the water utilities, about 3 years ago
Yeah,
about helping us with that because that land was sold to them for $100
yes, it was.
by Stafford Construction. So that's the leverage that, we've been trying to use. So that is one, but you want to make sure that you get you get them in the right places. So I
Right.
just wanted to remind you of that.
Okay, thank you, Gail, very much. Okay, yes, we're gonna table this for now. Okay, the next one is Brookridge Expo Senior Information Day. Okay, analysis, Brookridge Expo Senior Information Day is scheduled to be held on Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the clubhouse. This depends on the CDC guidelines for such gatherings. The recommendation: approve the Brookridge Expo Senior Information Day on January 2021 at the clubhouse, as well as invite outside vendors to participate. The proposed motion, I make the motion to approve the Brookridge Expo Senior Information Day on Wednesday, January 20, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the clubhouse, as well as inviting outside vendors to participate. Do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second
Millie seconded. All in favor by saying aye.
it.
Aye. It is unanimous. Okay, the next new business goes back to our main man, Mr. Stratton.
Thank you. As you know, this budget here, I was involved in it 23 days ago. Not from the full extent of it. But I worked on everything with some of our residents here in the committee, and everything looks pretty good. I'm gonna start off here real quick for you. Brookridge Community Property Owners Incorporated 2021 budget, proposed budget, reserve funding $40 per lot per month, or $540 per year per lot. Here we go. This is the administration. Total $424,700, sorry. Facilities, $299,250. Public Works, $236,400. Code Enforcement, $350,500. Subtotal of operations, $1,310,850.00. Now I'm jumping down here to other income, estimated income coming. Landscaping income, $21,600. Collection and fines, $77,700. Administration income, $96,750. Proposed additional income, $24,000. That proposed is we have it already. but in here it's proposed. So that's covered. Total of operating expense, $1,090,800. And the next one would be reserve funding, 2020 through 21, 447,200. Total association requirements, $1,538,000. And the good news is, for 21, you're only gonna pay $45. No change.
And you want me, I'm sorry, we had, Beverly? No, not yet. Huh? Yeah, he made we gotta approve this budget.
Okay. You want to approve it first before I say anything?
Gotta have a motion first.
Can I get a motion on this?
Yes, you can,
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Beverly Epstein, Unit 6. I was on the Finance Committee.
Yes, you are.
Okay, and I have a couple questions. Has the board, or will the board approve the additional sources of income that we recommended?
Rich, did you bring those with you?
I never received anything from the committee. Personally, 23 days, I received nothing.
Well, that was on the proposed, okay,
I received nothing personally from back and forth. I received nothing.
okay, I'll get that to you. It should have been with all the documents, not that I have it. The SOPs that you had in the agenda here, we used a different SOP, more updated one for the Finance Committee, and I have a copy for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, and you all decided that you would like to go back to that. No, this is a different one. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and can you explain the, on your board agenda, you have the analysis of the, with the input from the Finance Committee, they reallocated the spread of elements of the reserve study due to roof replacement. Can you explain that?
Could you say it again, please?
On your board topic agenda. Well, you said you met with the Finance Committee and you reallocated money for reserve for the roof replacement. Can you explain that?
You're talking about the reserves?
Yes.
Okay, Rich, do you know anything do you have your information on that?
It's on your topic of discussion here.
Spread to the element of the reserve contributions to enable us to fund the maintenance.
I wasn't aware that the Finance Committee met.
I do believe that there are percents that we put in the reserve funds every year.
Yes.
So I think that's maybe what they were referring to.
That's not very clear.
You don't think that's right?
That's not very clear because we didn't at the committee, when the Finance Committee met, we did not reallocate anything for roof repairs or anything like that.
Sure, but Dennis is not here anymore.
I know.
So
I was on the committee and Linda was on the committee. Did we discuss anything on the reallocated for roof repairs?
Roof replacements, not repairs, roof replacement.
No.
Is it possible that we take a look at this and get a further discussion at the next meeting? And get the people who are on the committee to sit down with us
Okay.
and put a 3-on-4 or 1-on-1?
Okay, and also for the additional income sources. Do you have that with you, Linda? Linda maybe have it with her, because Linda was on the committee, and I see she's got a suitcase full of documents.
I hear you.
Can't hear you, honey.
This is a copy of the proposed additional income resources that was along with the budget that the finance committee came up with, but it's something that would have to be approved by the board. So I'll ask the treasurer to make a copy for you.
Is that monies from clubs, Beverly?
No, no, it is not. It's an increase in annual mowing, an increase in estoppel fees, an
We
increase in
have
video
seen that.
expense, pardon me?
We have seen that.
Oh, okay,
We
so,
have seen that and we did
When did you
approve
vote on
amongst ourselves at one point in time.
Yes, we did, and we've already approved the motion.
oh, that's what I was asking, because you didn't.
Yeah, we've approved.
That has been taken care of. We
Okay,
have
so
approved those
the
increases.
additional increases.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Capital gains could not be included.
Not at this time, it has to be
Right.
voted on by the membership.
Right, I understand that. And the reallocated for the roof was that for the, is that for the clubhouse reserve?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, is there a repair due on that? Is that the problem?
I
Is
can't,
there a repair due on the roof?
yes, we have quite a bit of repairs that need to be done to this roof. If you know what the roundabout is where the fish pond or, where people soak their feet. Look at that roof there. It's going down like this. And I wish Vince hadn't left the room because he could tell you about that. But there's other spots in the roof that does need to be repaired.
And there's nothing left in the reserve fund for the
Correct.
clubhouse?
Yes. And we're, as a board, we're allowed to reallocate that before it goes
Okay, so
in.
that was a board decision, not a committee decision.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time, everyone. Yes, Gail?
Metcalf, Unit 6. I'm a little confused when you say that you allocated, the board has the authority to allocate within the element, so you can change things around within in this case, within the clubhouse element, but you can't take monies from another element and put them into the clubhouse element. It's just a
Not during
separate
the year.
line.
You can do that before the new year starts.
Okay, I just want to be very clear on that that is allowed, because I'm not sure if that's what 720 says. The other thing is if you could explain where the source of, like, landscaping income, what is that?
The,
It says we're talking about other income? It's estimated, but what is the estimation for?
Estimated means what we're gonna get when they do the money owed us. All these here, if the landscape income coming in for cutting all the lawn, or cutting, we got 21,000 coming in if we timed up by the lawns.
Okay, so it's what Brookridge does?
Yeah.
For the violations, okay,
Sure,
Brookridge.
all those are the money that's owed to us yet.
Okay, I'm just asking the question so we're clear.
Yeah, that's been on the sheet for years.
I know, but I just want to make sure that's where it's coming from. And collections and fines income. My understanding was that there wasn't any fines being done right now. So that's,
We cannot even entertain that statement.
okay,
How can you say there are no fines? If people has a violation.
I'm asking a question,
All
I'm
right.
asking a question. Give me like 3 minutes. Okay, and if the administration income, what is that?
What is it?
Yes,
the
it has
administration
administration,
income.
I'm just trying to get a handle.
That is with Rich, isn't that with the, estoppel fees and
Estoppels
stuff
and
like
things
that?
like
Yes, it's all the fees that we set up for the people here, the estoppel fee coming in, that's all that money coming in.
Okay,
If we do get it.
has what upped the estoppel fee to the new?
Yes, we
Okay,
have.
how much is it this year? Because I know it went up last year, and I hear that it went up this past year. 150? Perfect, so that's people coming in. Okay. And the proposed additional income, I'm just wondering where, because I understand at the finance committee meetings that they were, that they're going to start charging for the RV compound. So where is that income?
This $24,000, we have it already, money saved from the administration office for the last 3 months.
Right, and we gotta talk with the, RV compound committee first before we can make that decision.
Okay, so is that 24,000 in everything?
Right, it's already here, it's just a carryover.
Okay, I'm just asking the question.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
you're welcome, Gail. Okay. Since the budget, but any more questions on the budget? Before we go to members' comments? Okay, we'll go ahead and go to the member
Mark, if you
Yes,
excuse
ma'am.
me a moment, I have the reserve study here,
Yes,
and as far as the roof, it's, the line item is 1120. It says that the roof, the 219 was the last time this reserve was done. And it says we have 2 years remaining on the roof before it needs to be repaired, which means would be 2021. So
Right.
that would be a scheduled repair for
correct.
next year. So
Right.
people understand that that's in the reserve for
Right.
2021.
Yeah, that's what he was looking, because I called the reserve company and talked with them about it and everything like that. And, one other thing I forgot to bring up is that the board has decided that we are going to do a forensic audit and go back 5 years. Okay, Benny, did you have something to say?
Yes, I did meet with the RV compound people,
You did?
and everything seems to be on schedule right now for them to go forward.
Okay,
And we're just waiting on that land,
yeah, I need to go through director's reports first.
and they do have their plans, if that should open up, what their plans are for it,
Okay.
to maneuver they back, to put them back and forth.
Right, and if we can get that extra land, that's gonna help them out.
Yeah.
Quite a bit,
Yep, yes, it will.
because we got people with 40-foot RVs that gotta park outside the park because there's no room for them.
Well, some of those things that are down there, I mean, there's trees growing through the floors of them.
Yeah,
And they're already been red flagged. So they should be taken care of and asked to leave or do whatever we have to do. Because that's what's gonna make room for everybody else.
correct. And do you have any comments to make, director's reports? Of course. She never ceases to amaze me.
I'd like to just address the residents. You're seeing a lot of changes here, and we can thank the board. We're all working hard. I know, I'm sure you folks can point fingers at us and, as well, we're not perfect. But when you folks come to these meetings and you voice your opinions, you plant that seed in the board. Then the board tries to make that grow. Please do not be shy with your comments. Don't come up here and attack us, because we live here as well. We want this to be the best place in Florida.
Amen.
And you folks are part of the team. We're just up here representing you. I'm sorry, did you have something you wanted to say? Oh, okay. Please help us. If there's an issue, please address it with us, and we will do the best we can. As they read in the letter, Mark is doing a wonderful job. He's getting involved in the community, and hopefully we can get these issues resolved. And again, Once the clubhouse opens up fully, we hopefully will be getting some revenue from the clubs. And we want you folks to
Yes.
enjoy this clubhouse as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Rosemary, do you have any reports? I think we've been talking about them pretty much about the RV compound, but do you have anything on the bingo and, okay, alrighty. Yeah, I've got it written down on my desk to talk to the bingo lady about when she can start coming in and everything. Mr. Stratton?
Only one comment to the board and to the folks out here. As far as being a resident here of my family, 42 years, I've seen a lot. And I just want to thank you for what I try to do. It's 24 days, just give me some time. Nobody in a corporate job, I wouldn't even, in a corporate job, you wouldn't even go to coffee pot in 24 days. Believe me. I'm trying to do the best I can, what I got to work with. And I want to thank the girls at the office. I was the doorman for about 2 weeks. So I opened that door and closed that door for the people of the Brookridge here to come in. And above and beyond, I work for nothing. And that's the name of the guess why I'm on the board. Thank you.
Yeah, Ann worked the door for 2 weeks and so did Miss Ellison. Oh, no, 2 months. Yeah, it was more like 2 months, Richie. Millie, you will have something to comment about when you become a liaison, but if you have something to say, you go right ahead.
I just want to thank the board for giving me this opportunity to serve, not only serve the board, but serve the residents of this community. Do not feel that you have to be quiet about any issues because your issues become our issues. And without us knowing what's on your mind or anything that we can help to improve different things here, I think we live in probably one of the nicest communities here on the West Coast. There are changes that are going to come for the better, but right now we're here to serve the residents of this community. And I'm at your disposal. I'm Millie. I live up on Admiral Street. Come by my house. If I'm outside, hike, stop, whatever. But we're here for you. We're here for you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Millie. Okay, so we'll move on to member comments. Oh, Patrona, yes, ma'am. So come on up.
Patrona Terman, Unit 3, also from the clubhouse. Mr. President and Board, do I have permission to step over here so I can address the audience as well? It's real quick.
If we do it.
Okay,
right.
that's fine. I can do it this way. Just want to remind everyone that tomorrow, the 7th of October, from 10 to 2, the Bloodmobile will be in the parking lot. And it is so that they've got it fixed to do social distancing. It's been quite a while since we've had the Bloodmobile, and they're in dire need of everything. So if we could please, as a community, get together and come out for our Bloodmobile, that would be fabulous. Okay? One more item, the news and views. I'm aware there were some mistakes in the Board of Directors page in the October issue. Also, there were some things that were left out, some items that were made smaller. On the 16th of September, the board voted for the budget or accepted the budget. I had to send it to the printer the next morning. So 8 pages of budget was mandatory in the book. It went in, some things had to be moved around, some things got left out because the budget had to go in October. That's in my SOP, okay? Also, the Board of Directors page, I've worked with a new setup, and I've got a new way of putting it in so that it will be more understandable. And I did not get a chance to proof that page. Again, it went in because there were some changes right at the last minute. when the budget went in. So I didn't get that back to proof, and I'm very sorry for the mistake. And I accept the mistake as mine.
Well, okay. Thank you so much. And then one other thing I was gonna ask you, have you ever thought about having Lifeline shelters down here? They're the ones that for $150 come in and do the thoracic arteries and stuff like that. It's called Lifeline Mobile.
Lifeline Mobile?
Yes.
I will see if I can contact that group today, and
Okay.
I will report back.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, now for the members' meetings. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Sandy Hoos, Unit 3. My comment is on the Wednesday night meeting that we had. I felt that I had every right to ask the question that I asked, which really wasn't answered. I asked if it was put into the contract with our flooring, that if it wasn't completed, if they would be paying us money, and never got answered. I got hammered and told to sit down. All right, after that, there was a comment that came from our president that said, sometimes you just can't stop some people. You have to take it by the horn. And then there was something mentioned that said, take charge, boss. And then she said, and this was Ann, Jesus Christ. And that was on the tape. I feel that these kind of comments and the way I was treated was very disrespectful from our president and from Ann. And I think, and this isn't the first time that Ann has made comments that have been heard, that she might want to consider resigning. And as we've had 4 people resign from this board, there has to be something wrong with our board. So maybe our president should reconsider and maybe resign himself. I'm sorry, but I think that I need an apology from our president this time, because I don't think I did anything wrong. I had every right to ask my question.
Yes, you had every right to ask your question, but you got out of control, Sandy.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. Other people said you did as well.
You want to know? You were out of control. You come to this meeting and sometimes you are very, very rude to people. And I think it's uncalled for.
I'm just
And I
trying to
expect
keep
an
it
apology.
decorum.
I expect from you a formal apology in front of this group.
Well, I'm sorry you're not gonna get it, because I don't think I was out of line.
You should have heard the people outside up there. You could have hit a pin drop when you hit that gavel as hard as you did and yelled at me to sit down. You were rude, very rude.
You were getting out of control.
No, I
And
wasn't.
other people on the board thought you were getting out
Well,
of
the
control
board,
too.
they follow you like a puppy dog, so, and
Oh,
I'm done, I'm
come on.
I
sorry.
take offense to that,
That's it,
All
that's
right.
fine.
Gavel hit down now.
I don't have to apologize if he's not gonna apologize to me, and I'm
That's why
done.
it gets rude, Mr.
Thank
President. Gavel hit down.
Yes, Mr. Walls,
I don't know what.
I hope you can be a little bit nicer.
Hearing check. Don't start my clock.
Check. I'm Ken Walls, Unit 1, don't know what that was all about. But, Unit 4, I was outside when we had the meeting at the pro shop. And I didn't see it like it was said. And I'm gonna leave it there because I wanna get on to, there's a book called The Florida. There's a book called The Lore of Florida's Homeowners Association.
Brenda, Mr. Walls, Kenny, you can't address the people like that. You gotta address the board, sir. Just hold the book up behind you or something.
time,
There's the bug.
book, the Laura Florida Home Association, and chapter 720 was designed for our guidelines. Brookridge also has rules and regulations, which are rules voted in by the homeowners within the community. These can be changed by vote of the people in the community. The rules and regulations can be seen on the Brookridge portal on your computer. Also, those that don't have access to the computer, the administration office could run you off a copy. There may be a small fee for this, that's up to them. You know, back in May, we had a group of about 70 people show up while a board meeting was going on. These people wanted to show support to the whole board. Let's keep it together, everyone. They're doing a good job. Since the board took over in April, they've been dealing with 7 months of COVID up to date. The removal of a GM, a bookkeeper, replacing blended clubhouse floor, having 4 board members resign. A big thanks to those who stepped up to meet our board functions well. Some board members stepped up, helped in the administration office. Remember, everyone, no one was paid for any of these hours, and they're still doing it. Cut her short. Let's keep the slogan, Brookridge strong.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And in the beginning, Sandy Hoos, I didn't mean to offend you or anything, but I've seen it one way outside and other people seen it another way.
Leave the
Careful what you say.
Leave the mic on.
Ellie Calasantes. I'm at 4. I have a question on when we pay a large amount. We had the floor, we had 2 large amounts of money, and then we had the air conditioners. But you don't see it in, like, say, the news and views. And I'd like to know, do we ever get a chance to see exactly what we paid for different things?
Yes, it was announced last month what we
It's
paid
announced,
for.
but it's not put in writing, and I'd like to know where it comes from, the money comes from. Because there was a lot of money spent in the last year.
Yeah, it all came from the reserve funds. And the other thing is I should have put it in my presidential message. We have had at Wilson Technologies, correct me if I'm wrong, Arlene, out here once or twice a week trying to get our main server fixed. That main server controls the guard shack and the gates that go up and down and everything else. And you've probably seen the gates up and they haven't been down for a while. It's because the server's gone wacko.
All right, now I run Friday night bingo,
Yes, ma'am.
and we also pay rent. We're the only, because we're not a club. We are a non-for-profit. And when we have our meetings once a month, we do have a liaison that comes to the meetings. Our treasurer gives us the check numbers and what was paid out. We never hear that. We just never hear expenses, what they were paid. Like with us, the treasurer tells us, this is what we started with, these are the checks we paid out, and then this is the balance again. We don't hear that.
If you would hear that at every meeting, it would take another hour
No,
for
it
as many
I
checks that we
agree with
put
that.
out.
I agree with that. We don't have to say it at the meeting, but we can put it in news and views. You want accountability, you want itemized. I agree with you. That's all.
Okay, and we should
This
probably try to get it on.
This
Yes.
is why we want you folks to come up here and talk to us.
So like I said, 6 years I've been running bingo.
We hope to open up January 8th.
I hope you can open sooner than that,
No,
because people are getting
because of the-
crazy.
The social distancing is the worst part.
Okay,
That is the worst part. We're trying, and like I said, right now, tentatively, January 8th.
okay.
And then we can start with the rent again. I mean, $27,000 is a lot of money to give to Brookridge every year. And that's what we do. And I'm the one that upped it from $1,000 a month to $2,250. Why? Because we had it. So we do that. But I wish that we had more accountability. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Val Stratton. Right.
Is it on? Yes. Al Stratton, Unit 3. In answer to Ellie's question, once I imagine the server gets going, Arlene will be putting the financial reports back on the member portal. You need an account, which is usually your email and a password. And then you can actually see bills by vendor, shows each thing that we pay out, and also
You don't see bills by vendor on the portal.
yeah, you do, under financial reports.
We have done it before.
Hold on
yes.
a second. What'd you say,
We
Arlene?
have done it before, yes.
We've done it before?
Yeah.
No, May was the last time that it happened. So look at it, it's like 54 pages, but it is available, so just get yourself familiar with that.
Okay, thank you, Val, so much. Arlene, when did our server go down? Start having trouble with it?
Probably like the end of July, maybe.
Okay,
Started acting weird, yeah. Well, after we were closed those 2 weeks
right,
because of the COVID, probably as soon as we came back. And it's been back and forth since then.
right. When they still haven't gotten it figured
There's
it
a
out.
glitch, they're trying to figure it out. They've come in, you've seen them.
Right,
So, we might have to update, we're not sure, but we are working with Aaron to get that fully functional again. We can get our member portal back online, more updated. I do apologize, I know some stuff is from July, but again, without a completely functioning server, we don't want to put information out there that's not accurate. So,
okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Arlene.
yes, sir.
Turn her on. Folks, we gotta learn just to leave that microphone on when you leave the podium.
Adele Humphrey, Unit 4.
I don't know if this is out of order, but in regards to the garbage, I wish you'd consider making it mandatory that if you live in here, you have to pay for garbage pickup. People should not have to live next door to others who stack it on their lanai, on their carport. They just keep it. There are rat problems in this area, and hoarding your garbage is unsanitary. The people who do garbage pickup are trained in where and how and et cetera. Just a proposal I'd like you to consider. There's no grandfathering because you've been here for a long time. It's just a fact of life. We make garbage, we need to be responsible for it.
Right. I think you've been working on that, haven't you, Mr. Schubert? Yes, he's been working on that.
Okay, thank you.
Diligently.
Yes, diligently. Thank you for your comment. Yes, sir.
Morning. My name is Jesse Sawyer, Unit 2. I have a question, and when is the clubhouse actually going to open?
Well, Bets, you're back there. When's the library going to be open, you think, in the other rooms? Get you an answer here shortly.
Well, as you can see, in the last couple of days, since we actually got in there Sunday to clean, dust, it's not finished yet. As you can see, the back rooms are still full of the exercise equipment. the stage is entirely full with all the chairs and all the tables. And I still gotta put down all the baseboard. The air conditionings aren't ready yet, even in the back rooms. They're not fully wired yet. They haven't been even ran yet. Pinpoint me on a date. 2 weeks.
All right, 2 weeks.
Is that,
Well, I think it's sad that we have to go through this like this with the governor open 2 weeks ago, everything. All our people are suffering because we can't use our own clubhouse, okay? Especially my wife, because she has Alzheimer's. And she's been that way since April and getting worse. And she did ceramics, she did helping hands, and that would help her a lot to get it open. So I'm thinking of going outside and see if I can find something. Because I don't think I can depend on, the clubhouse to open soon. And we're playing cards at people's houses because we can't play cards here. It's our clubhouse. And if the
I
governor can
understand it's your
open, we can
clubhouse.
open.
All right, Vince, you wanna just open it up and forget about the baseboards and
I didn't
everything?
say that. You have an attitude. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Well, that's what you're asking.
No, I'm not. I'm asking information and communication so we can find out when we're gonna open and what we're doing.
Okay, all right, I'll give you explanation. On this first half of the floor here, we had the manufacturer sent the contractor the wrong chemical. So we had to re-sand everything.
But why couldn't you tell us that? That's all I'm asking. Communication. Let us know. I go by rumors. I go by that thing on the internet you're talking about. No wonder we have that, because you don't communicate.
Arlene, have we not had trouble getting emails out on our server?
The server don't work?
I just got done telling you, there's something wrong with it. After the clubhouse was closed for not the clubhouse, but the admin office was closed for two weeks. For some reason, something happened to our server. We don't know if lightning had gotten to it or what. Vince has had several things down here hit by lightning, and that is it's kept us out of the loop. I'm sorry if you thought I was being rude to you, but it's just like we get attacked all the time because things weren't done yesterday.
I'm not attacking you. All I'm saying is communication. If you put in the news and views, I'd be happy to say this is what happened or that's what happened. Just let me know what's going on. Say we're anticipating the clubhouse in another month. I read the news and views, it says it's open.
But the news and views doesn't come out for a month after.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, communicate. That's all I'm saying.
President, Jesse, do me a favor. As Larry Miller over there, we
Yep.
talk a lot. Stop by the house. That's all you gotta do. I communicate very well.
Yep.
Larry, do we talk a lot? There you go.
Yeah. What's that got to do with letting all the residents know, Rich, what's going on?
You can tell one,
Tell me
they'll
that.
tell two, they'll tell four, they'll tell eight.
I read the news and views. Do you want me to look at Brookridge news? I don't even look at that Brookridge thing. All I'm saying is if you communicate, we'll know what's going on. I have an email from Brookridge that I signed up for. And I see the things you're asking for volunteers or this and that, but I see nothing else. And I'm asking to put it on there, that's all. That's all I'm asking. The other question I have before my time runs out, you put the air conditioners outside. I was wondering why you didn't put them up on the roof.
The roof cannot handle the load.
Okay, because they look like an eyesore up there.
It'll be painted up very nicely. You were well taken. I thought of that.
Yeah.
This roof cannot support the air conditioning system that
No.
you want.
Can't.
So the only two choices,
Yeah.
bring it back inside, let it leak, or put it outside, make it look good.
How long do you think it was inside, Rich?
Well, I see, I was back out here with my mother back in '88
Yeah.
for a party here, and it was there.
Okay.
So,
So it leaked 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. All I'm saying is 20 years it never leaked, so we could have put it back there. And the newer ones are better, Rich. That's all I'm saying.
Vince, can you comment on that, please? You don't want to?
Thank you.
All right. All right, Mr. Walls wants another 3 minutes.
Check, you there?
You're there.
Okay. I heard you say something about a 5-year forensic audit.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's what we need to go back and see where our monies, our HOAs have been spent. And you were behind closed doors, you were behind closed doors. Thank you for stepping up and being part of our board. That's when we go with the pro shop.
Thank you, Ken. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
Beverly Epstein, Unit 6. There's a budget vote next month. Can you tell me your date so I can align my unit reps and assist?
Do we have a date for that next month? Yeah, Reg? Yeah, I don't have my sheet with me, Beverly, but if you call me at the office tomorrow, I'll let you know what it is.
Okay, next Tuesday I have a unit rep meeting.
Petrona?
Mary Sweeney can tell you the date,
Mary?
November 17th.
November 17th, she
Okay.
said they'll align my unit reps up for that time.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Ross.
Ron Ross, Unit 6. In regards to the book that was talked about, if people want to go online, Florida Statute 720, which governs HOAs, is entirely on the line. You can print the whole thing off. Here, that or ask the board members for one. They all should have one of those. And I also agree with the statement on the forensic audit. It's a good move, and it will answer a lot of people's questions from there. I'm sorry to see that Margie's not with us. Was sad to hear that she resigned from that. I noticed that our bylaws that resignations are given in writing or at a public meeting, so I'm going to presume that we have a written resignation from that.
She has not given us one, but the verbal one was fine according to the attorney. It's recorded.
It was recorded on your home phone, I believe?
It was recorded on my cell phone.
Okay. I guess kind of a follow-up question from that then, Mark, is if she resigned and the board accepted that, why did the board call a special meeting on July 20 or September 25th, and the board voted to remove her?
We asked her to be at that meeting.
I'm sorry, she had advised you beforehand that she would be at a hospital in Tampa with her significant other, and that she was not going to be available that day.
She said she could make it.
Well.
All right, yeah, these are personnel questions, and we're just not.
I'm sorry, they're not personnel questions, they're board member questions. They're board directors and a board of
It's the same as
directors.
personnel, and I'm not gonna discuss something else like that, Ron. I'm sorry.
A board of director can be removed by recall of the members of the organization. And the board has no right to vote to remove a board member. The board can vote to remove an officer per the bylaws, but they do not have the right to remove a director from the board of directors. It's our board of directors, nobody else's board of directors. And to say that she resigned when she was under duress, when it was put to the News and Views several weeks beforehand so that it could be published without her name being listed, is an affront to the members of Brookridge. And at the same point, I will turn and say I did not appreciate comments that are made by board members when members are speaking that are recorded and out on YouTube for people to hear. If the board wants the respect, the board needs to give the respect back to the members when a member's speaking, to listen, and you can laugh and scoff all you want.
As being a past president, I would think that you do not discuss personal matters.
Personnel, not board members.
Okay, Mrs. I'm not going to.
My last remark to you was uncalled for, and I am sorry for that. I do apologize. You're welcome.
Well, thank you, Sandy, and I apologize for getting a little upset with you too, but it was just like it was getting out of control out there.
I understand.
And when I
Patrona just came to me also and asked me about Tuesday night bingo. I'm not sure that we're ready to start this month. It was in the news and views that we had chose to start the 13th. That was the end of last year. I've talked with the girl that helps me run it. I'm hoping that maybe November, possibly, I don't know. To have 50 people, I know it was suggested to have at least 50 people. That's still, those 50 people coming through a line, touching papers, us taking their money, and we have to jump up and go and give their money to them if they win. Whether we'll have runners to help us, that's a lot. So I knew you had questioned that to Patrona, so I'm stating it now that this month it will not, to my opinion, we're gonna have a board member, but my opinion is myself and my helper are not ready to come back in because of the CDC rules.
Right, I get
So
tired of them.
I think that we just need another month. I'm not sure, maybe 2 months.
May I ask you how many people you think you might get now without the snowbirds here? And the other part of that question is, do you get a lot of snowbirds to play the bingo?
We have some Canadians that actually play with us. We do have
Okay.
people that come in. I can say that, I know that we're a nonprofit and all of our funds that we raise from bingo does go for scholarships, which we do every year. If we opened it and we only had 35, 40 people come, we might not even have enough money to pay out all the winners. So if we can't have between 60 and 70 people, it's not feasible. We just can't, we wouldn't even have money to deposit. So, if we can't make a couple $100 towards our scholarships, it's kind of, I'm not gonna say a waste of time because it is fun, but I think that we need to have things opened up more and be able to have the people. And I know that there's been question about us having some people that come in from outside. Those people usually come and are guests of people when they come, even though they aren't living here with someone in Brookridge, but that does help our community. So that's all I have to say. I just wanted to apologize for my last gesture.
Okay, I thank you and I appreciate it. And I apologize also. Just everything was getting out of hand.
It was.
And I couldn't hear anybody.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Oh, come on down. Which curtain would you like?
I don't know if it's on. Brenda McMahon, Unit 6. Brenda McMahon, Unit 6. I want to thank the board for everything you guys have done through the COVID. I know you guys have been handed a lot. You've done a lot, and we do appreciate everything you're doing. I want to welcome you to our board. I want to go ahead and state that I am very disappointed in the way that you have handled our second vice president. I know for a fact that the News and Views was printed without her name in it, and it was printed on September 12th. I don't know of any board that would accept a verbal.
When was that printed, Patrona?
It was after the meeting that was over at the.
We can't blame her. It could have been the board not giving her the information.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm disappointed in the board and the way that this was handled. I don't know of any HOA that would accept a resignation unless it was by hand and with a signature on it. Whether it was left on a voicemail for you to share with the board, I don't think that's acceptable. But I appreciate everybody's help. Patrona, thank you for helping me get the pavilion. Vince, thanks for helping me out. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, can I make a motion this time that we adjourn this meeting?
I'll second it.
Aye. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Hey there. Oh, yeah, they're in the back. On that table, yeah. Okay, right, but on your way out. Did you bring